Thank you and welcome. And Joel, it's up to you now.
All right. All right. Good evening, everyone. As Ed said, I'm Joel Vyrick of the New Jersey State Board of Agriculture, where I represent the vegetable industry and serve as the chair of the Budget Committee. The State Board of Agriculture is an eight-member body created by the New Jersey legislature. It's charged with setting the broad agricultural policies that guide the Department of Agriculture. In this role, we work diligently to safeguard and promote the interest of New Jersey's diverse agricultural community, while ensuring that the citizens of our state continue to benefit from a strong, vibrant, and sustainable agriculture sector. And I'm pleased to have everybody here tonight to participate in that. And at this point, I'll turn it back over to Secretary Wengren for a budget overview.
All right. So start the budget overview. Our budget is kind of broken out in three areas. Direct state services, so those are direct dollars put into our budget. Grants and aid, which in a lot is our federal dollars that come into the department, and then state aid through the Property Tax Relief Fund, which helps fund some of our programs and department. As you can see, we've had some growth in direct state services and grants and aid. There was a shift in state aid through the Property Tax Relief Fund in the budget from 25 to 26. And that was through basically the folding in of programmatic dollars out of the state property tax program into it was the Garden State Preservation Trust, and because that's a separate fund, they no longer do it through the property tax fund. So that explains our big drop in difference between 25 and 26. It's an accounting move, not a loss of funding move. Next slide. So here's sort of our big ones in direct state services: salaries, operational expenses, and then our emergency food assistance programs, hemp farming fund, spotted lanternfly, our promotion and marketing development, our Jersey Fresh program. You'll notice, so this is the state aid on that of $100,000. Urban ag strategies for the state of New Jersey. This was funds put into the Office of the Food Security Advocate, and then along with his operating budget outlined there. And then we give 83,000 to the State Ag Development Committee to assist with their Right to Farm coordinator. All right. Up next are grants and aid. So these are special budget dollars that the legislature appropriates and puts in. And we have a Hunger Initiative Food Assistance Program, 6.8 million. This is one that the board and I are discussing about funding not only our Gleaning Grant program, but also some money for local purchase for schools and local purchase for our food banks and ministries. And then there were specific monies put in the budget for certain pantries. As you can see, the Cultural Society of Bergen for Mom's Food Pantry, 85 million in food and hunger programs to the big 5 emergency feeding organizations that work with the national feeding programs. Franklin Food Bank has money for infrastructure and expansion. Same with Kupasiam Tov Warehouse, Luther Memorial Evangelical Church, a program for disabled combat veteran youth, Feeding Hands Food Pantry, and then a regional innovation for food security, again, within the Office of the Food Security Advocate, to help make the link between our farms and our distributors and improve that food distribution network. We get SNAP and School Meal Pilot Program. This is closing the gap between our families that are on SNAP and get school meals, and to make sure there's a seamless registration program there. And then a program for Woodstown Future Farmers. They have a building expansion program, and that's a grant to help them do that. So there's our grants and aid. And then state aid, some of this, again, school lunch program. We have expanded authority for who can receive school lunches under the Working Families Act. And this makes up the difference between what the feds reimburse and what the state is obligated to reimburse. And it falls breakfast under the bell. We have programs for payment in lieu of taxes where state facilities reimburse the local governments. Our state supplement for summer food service programs, school breakfast and lunch state aid, and then our working class families as well. So those are our big money pots here at the Department of Agriculture. Joel, back to you.
So the Department of Ag's impacts throughout the past year, the New Jersey Department of Agriculture, in partnership with the State Board of Agriculture, has continued to strengthen agriculture and enhance the quality of life for New Jersey residents through the work of our divisions. These efforts include facilitating school meal programs to ensure students receive nutritious breakfast and lunches each school day, addressing food insecurity by providing healthy, locally grown foods through the 6 emergency feeding operations in collaboration with food banks, pantries, and soup kitchens across the state. Preserving farmland to safeguard our open space, enhance quality of life, protect the environment, and help mitigate the effects of climate change. Also, we're working on controlling and eradicating invasive pests and plants that threaten New Jersey's agriculture and natural resources. Reducing reliance on pesticide and herbicide by promoting integrated pest management practices, including the use of beneficial insects. In part with also doing that too, we're minimizing food waste and not filling the landfills as much with using sustainable alternative methods. Protecting public and animal health through ongoing monitoring, early detection, and swift action to address emerging threats. And promoting Jersey fresh fruits and vegetables to encourage healthier eating, support local farmers, and strengthen New Jersey's agricultural economy. With that, I'm going to allow the Secretary to dive a little deeper into that and talk about some of the division successes that they've had over the past year.
So one of our big one has been the summer EBT program, which was set up by the federal government to make sure families receive basically $40 a month for the 3 summer months. This is expense cards that they can spend in supermarkets, farmers markets, and redeem to make sure they have fresh local food through the summer. Over 7,000 and 1,900 families have received those benefits in 2025. We had and that will continue to grow as we go through people who moved like after the school year and their card didn't get to them. So we'll be doing corrections. Last year, I think we hit almost 800,000 families were part of that program. And along with the summer EBT, some technology initiatives to make that run further. But the New Jersey Farm to School program, which is one that not only connects schools with local farms to do purchases, there's a whole education component to so the children learn where their food comes from and what's grown. Some of them do garden programs. Some schools have hydroponic systems in their schools where they harvest from their own hydroponic system to put it into their school meals. So this year they did a Farm to School Academy to teach the food divisions and teachers who wanted to come out and learn about how to run these programs in their schools. And they did 3 throughout the state, focusing on the different regions. Plant industry, a big one is always spongy moth and treating that forest, the forest from that deforestation of those insects. And then the raising of parasitoids to combat emerald ash borer. Even though we're still suffering from that, having a local population of parasitoids is keeping it from expanding and getting worse in the state. Animal health, high path avian influenza became a big deal last year. We've always struggled with our poultry based upon the migratory bird patterns. Our most active cases are in our live bird markets, but it's we have a good working relationship with them to control it and keep it contained. Nationally, dairy became an industry also impacted by that same virus. And we've been working with our dairy industry and the region to make sure the milk supply has been virus-free. And to date, we are approved on the federal list, and all of the Northeast states are for being free from HPI and dairy. And then their other big thing is responding to humane complaints for animal welfare and livestock. And they work on training the 80 humane law enforcement officers on the rules and how to do the investigation process. Ag and natural resources, again, we've had money in there for non-preserve farms to do wildlife fencing, 21 applications covering over 1,200 acres. Have been awarded. We have about half of that fund is still available, so we encourage people to take advantage of it. We're working on ways that we can use the contract to help kind of get the startup cost going and then do the payout, the balance payout later. So Frank and his team are always working on making that a more efficient program, and we appreciate that. Over 3,000 FFA members and some new chapters opened in the state in the last year. And that's always a good sign for the future of agriculture. And then 6,208 soil erosion and sediment control program applications covering over 11,000 acres, and 56,000 site inspections were done by Ag and Natural Resources. Up next, again, marketing and development. Jersey Fresh reached 125 million gross impressions with our new ad agency, and the value added Made with Jersey Fresh program increased by 38%. This is one of those, we get some of our federal funds plus our 1,000 from 100,000, yeah, 100,000 from the state. That brings our total to about, I think 650,000 for that marketing program. And so this is an area we heard last year. We put it in our budget request, and we expect to be doing the same this year, but we'd like to hear your thoughts on that. They hosted the National Association of Agricultural Marketing Organizations here in the state this summer, and really showed off what New Jersey and New Jersey Agricultural does. But what we really do in the direct and specialty marketing area. And then our inspections unit still does inspections for agricultural products coming in and out of the state, including our feed, fertilizer, and lime inspections to make sure what farmers are applying on the ground meets what's in the label. And then SADC, the big news was the statewide funding formula to expand the ability to improve the offers they've been making. The rules kind of went into effect in April, and we had our first closing at the end of August. So pretty quick turnaround, and we're seeing a 30% increase in the values that are being offered to landowners. And we've got a backlog of, think of like 78 or 85 applications pending, doing closing documents and review. So we will have a bang up year in farmland preservation closings, closing out this year and next year. Also approved amendments to the soil and water cost share program, increasing eligibility and making, again, those flexibilities and payment plans. This is going to be critical as the federal government, who we really partnered with on a lot of this stuff, is not funding the engineering work. So we're looking at ways to approve how we can contract with the private sector engineers to get the work done that our farms need. And this is the part you really came for. It's for us to hear from you. You have an understanding of our budget and how it works. And I will turn it back over to Joel. And I believe Joe will also give some lesson comments on how the process will work from here.
Joe, yeah, why don't you jump into it and let everybody know about what's expected of them going forward with this part.
Okay, so we have an opportunity for people to speak. You can use the raised hand feature on your Zoom, which is, I think, under the React emoji if you have an updated version of Zoom. And we have some people pre-registered to make comments. So I'm going to call those folks. And in the meantime, if you wish to make comment, you have up to 5 minutes. Once you raise your hand, I'll call you and unmute yourself, identify yourself and where you're from, and we'll hear from you then. But with that, I'd like to start with Ashley Kerr from New Jersey Farm Bureau.
Before Ashley goes, I understand Joe is in an enforcer mode today, and at 5 minutes, he will turn off your microphone. But I think if we have time to hear from people, we will at the end of the session, but we're giving everybody a chance to go first.
Well, don't worry, I talk really fast, so I probably won't even use half my time. This is Ashley Kerr. I'm the State Legislative Director for New Jersey Farm Bureau. Thank you for hosting this listening session again this year. It was really beneficial to hear last year and to start so early planning the budget process here. So thank you very much. We did send in our testimony as well. I'm going to read through it really fast. On behalf of the state's largest membership-supported organization for ag, we appreciate the collaboration between the department, Rutgers Extension, and Farm Bureau as we work together on the budget and its impact on the important issues affecting farming in the state. We issue this request in the name of the paramount issues of local food security, agricultural viability, and the recent drought impacts to the farming industry. First, we would like to see the appropriation for Jersey Fresh marketing doubled. Even that increase would not bring the program close to what its funding was like at its peak, around 1.5 million, but it would be meaningful nonetheless. This marketing program for agricultural products has been envied nationwide and is used by so many different facets of our industry, in addition to fresh fruits and vegetables, including Jersey raised livestock, Jersey bred horses, Jersey native plants, Jersey grown nursery, and Jersey seafood. We would also like to see the inclusion of a quality grading program for shellfish aquaculture to fall under the Jersey Fresh umbrella as well. The Division of Ag and Natural Resources, led by Director Frank Minch, needs additional staffing to help with all of its crucial duties this division is responsible for. We request hiring an additional 5 employees for the division, as additional responsibilities are always being directed here. We also support more funding for climate mitigation stewardship products and oversight of farm management practice policy, which are also housed in this division. We additionally support a fund to help all farmers pay for engineers for conservation planning, as well as a cost share for climate smart ag practices and equipment, as SADC has recently implemented for preserved farms. Additionally, it is imperative that all the testing, lab facilities, inputs for quality control, disease monitoring services be fully maintained in support of the Garden State's diverse commodity mix for agriculture. With the cancellation federally of the local farm to school LFS and local farm to purchasing agreements LFPA for food banks, we request that the state supplement these funds through their annual budget. These programs were successful in helping to alleviate hunger while providing farmers with an additional stable market to sell, and the cancellation is both detrimental to the industry. We would also like to note that the commitment made to New Jersey's equine industry was severely cut last year, as the horse racing purses went from an annual appropriation of 20 million to 10 million. This hurts not only our equine industry through breeding and racing in the state, but all of the ag support services that go along with it, including training, boarding, feed, bedding, etc. We would like to see this commitment reinstated for FY27. Thank you for this opportunity to present our budget priorities for the upcoming year. How'd I do on time?
Really good, Ashley. Thank you.
3.5 minutes, perfect.
Sorry for all those dogs barking in the background. I was trying to ignore them.
They didn't come through my mic, so you were all good.
Oh, great.
All right, next up on the pre-registered, we have Ross Farnsworth of Wakefern.
No, I appreciate the opportunity just to introduce myself. I'm the Vice President of Produce at Wakefern. Wakefern is a cooperative of 45 families. We are also the largest private employer in the state of New Jersey. And you might more recognize this by the grocery stores and ShopRite. So the owners created us 80 years ago to basically pool their resources and buying power. And we are basically the logistics, marketing, human resource arm, and allow them to do what they do best, which is run their stores, and we source their product for them. My team specifically works with farmers across the world in sourcing fresh produce for these 45 families that get funneled through 2 fresh distribution centers in New Jersey and out to approximately 400 stores throughout the 7 states in the Northeast that we operate in. Just appreciate the opportunity to join and listen in. Hoping to collaborate more with this organization as we are always in search of finding and teaming up with the best farmers in the state of New Jersey. We approximately source about $100 million of produce throughout our 7 states, New Jersey being the largest. And we do have an annual event coming up July 15th, 2026. We're hoping that we can get representatives from this organization to be a part of that, just to highlight to the public and to my organization the great farmers and growers that are in the state, to make sure that we're offering the best quality produce and the freshest produce we can to our members. And just appreciate Joel inviting me to be a part of this, and look forward to engaging with you in the future of how we can leverage each other's resources to bring the freshest produce to the public. With that, I'll turn the time back over to you. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Ross. One of the programs Jersey Fresh used to do when we had funding was cost sharing on the advertisements. When you would do your weekly flyers, or that would go out, and if there was going to be a Jersey Fresh product highlighted, we would cost share on that advertising with you guys. And I'd really like to get back to that kind of cooperation and cross marketing and promotion.
We welcome that conversation.
All right.
Thanks again, Ross, for being on here tonight, and definitely look forward to communicating and working together in the future on a lot of this.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Next up, we have Maria Stewart from the New Jersey Cheese Guild.
Thank you, Joe. Hi, I'm Maria Stewart, dairy farmer in Hunterdon County at Gorgeous Goat Creamery. And we're a small goat dairy that does on-farm dairy processing. I'm also representing the New Jersey Dairy and Cheese Guild, which is a newly formed nonprofit organization comprising of on-farm dairy processors, as well as dairy farms, cheese retailers, and other cheese enthusiasts. Our mission is to endorse and to support small-scale dairy and be able to advance its prominence in the state, as well as cooperate with our regulators in the different state agencies to ensure a clear and transparent licensing and inspection process. So I did share a written statement with the board in advance of this call, but I would like to share that here on the call right now. The Guild endorses departmental budgetary support and commitment to transfer the inspection and licensing process of on-farm dairy processors from the State Department of Health to the Department of Agriculture. In 2025, the State Board of Agriculture adopted a resolution entitled On-Farm Dairy Foods Processing, and this addresses the transfer of the licensing and inspection process to the Department of Agriculture. Currently, the licensing, certification, and inspection authority for on-farm dairy processors is split between the Department of Agriculture and the Department of Health, with the Department of Health addressing dairy farm inspection and milk plant inspection. The Department of Agriculture addresses antibiotic testing laboratories and staff certification, and both departments being involved with milk sampler and bulk hauling trainings, proficiency testing, and licensing. To put it simply, this is a complicated model that has caused some challenges for the industry. The dairy industry in New Jersey will benefit from consolidating licensing and inspection into one state agency. The consolidation will create more efficient communication between the state and industry, with greater expansion toward the needed marketing and promotion. It will also reduce the redundancy and confusion that has previously resulted from multiple departments providing oversight for the industry. The on-farm dairy processing is a growing sector of New Jersey dairy industry, with several farms, including my own, starting up operations within the last 10 years. So as though we hear the dairy industry may be declining, there is some renewed enthusiasm, especially for on-farm dairy processors. The transfer of the licensing and inspection process will further bolster dairy industry growth by making dairy processing startup more approachable. It will also lessen the burden for existing processors by consolidating all regulatory aspects within one department. The New Jersey Dairy and Cheese Guild endorses budgetary support and commitment to transfer the licensing and inspection process to the New Jersey State Department of Agriculture. And with that, I hope we can see a budgetary allocation included for upcoming fiscal years that will support the process within the Department of Agriculture. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Next up on my list, but I don't see in the room, is Tamia McQueen. All right. With that, I'm going to move on to the public, and Kurt Olstead, I see your hands up.
Yes, good evening, and good to see all of you, and I appreciate the opportunity to join you as a civilian, and certainly appreciate the work that all of you do in creating a budget, having previously served on the board and in the role of budget chair. I would just emphasize, I think that the board and the secretary, I hope, will continue to make it their first priority to support those 1,000 farmers that are producing 90% of the agricultural output in this state, and also farming 90% of the land base, especially the preserved land base. I think that policies that support that type of agricultural production maintains essential services and policies and services that will support all the other farmers, however small they may be in this state. And I think that that's always the starting point that should be maintained. I think in order to support the industry and to help alleviate the loss of these full-time producers, we need to continue to emphasize programs that protect right to farm. I recognize that a lot of that comes through the SADC, which is where we also have the ability to have a little bit of control over those funds. Through Right to Farm, I would like to suggest that we champion and revisit the formation of an ombudsman for regulatory compliance. I think farmers today face more regulatory compliance challenges than ever. New Jersey certainly doesn't make it an easy pathway, and there's so many regulatory compliances that overlap and are complicated and not clear and gray. And I think farmers want to comply. They just need assistance complying. With that comes assistance for soil and water conservation plans, creations and updates, with recent cuts to NRCS and emphasis on the part of NRCS for Farm Bill only programs. More than ever, farmers in the state need this assistance to help maintain compliance with state regulations that utilize appropriately, I believe, the formation and implementation of soil, water, and conservation plans to provide appropriate compliance. Similar to one of the speakers earlier, I support the movement of the dairy inspection programs in total to the Department of Ag. I'd also like to suggest that the department consider working out a memorandum of understanding with DEP and move ocean fisheries to the department. And I would also suggest that the department work with the Department of Labor to move H-2A housing and labor inspections to the department. Going back to the SADC in terms of assistance that would be very meaningful to farmers and farm landowners, especially those that are now preserved and these heritage properties. Groundwater is really important, groundwater quality. And what better way to protect groundwater quality than improvements to septic systems on complex farm properties that are comprised of many houses and stores and packing houses and farm labor housing are very complex right now. It's not a straightforward process. Assistance in designing and constructing updated septic systems for existing buildings would be a tremendous benefit and enticement for farmers to preserve their land and maintain their farms. Stormwater compliance would be another one that I would emphasize. It's a very, very difficult world out there right now as farmers deciphering where and how to comply with stormwaters. Municipalities don't know. Everybody has a different opinion. Farmers really need help with stormwater compliance and conformance. Finally, moving over to the division of markets, Jersey Fresh. I know that there was a really big push to help with some Jersey Fresh funding last year, with so many farmers relying on direct marketing and value added in the state of New Jersey. This marketing campaign that has long been championed as one of the best in the country really needs a jolt. It could use some extra funding, and perhaps a component of that funding could be realized through a reevaluation of our commodity taxes. There's some commodity taxes such as sweet potatoes, white potatoes, asparagus that I would gather to suggest probably cost more to administer than the monies that are brought in. And perhaps it's time for a referendum amongst those producers to see if there's value in continuing to have those commodity taxes in place. And likewise, perhaps some of the more successful commodity taxes, blueberries, wine, apples, perhaps they require a fresh look, and perhaps that fresh look can be accomplished through a referendum, and we can perhaps direct those funds to be utilized with Jersey Fresh monies, and perhaps there's synergies that could be realized that could provide for a much more effective marketing campaign than each of these commodities working independently. That concludes my comments, and thank you, and I appreciate all you're doing.
Thank you, Kurt.
Thank you, Kurt. You ran a little bit over, but you were talking about Jersey Fresh, so I let you go. All right. If anybody else has interest in making public comment, please use the raise hand feature. You can find that under the React button on the toolbar across the bottom of your screen.
Yes. We don't see anybody. Oh, Bill Westerby, I see.
See, Bill Westerby has a thumbs up. Bill Westerby, do you want to make comment?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, thanks for having me tonight, and appreciate all your efforts. I just want to make sure, bring some awareness. I farm 230 acres. About 200 of it is hay and straw. I'm down in Burlington and Camden County, and I'm involved with the Camden County board. And we talk about markets and food deserts, and I hear those buzzwords being thrown around. But this year, the produce market, go down to Vineland, it's $5 for a box of eggplant, $3 for a box of eggplant. Keep in mind the empty box costs you $2. Just the commodities itself is really struggling in price. I talk to people down in the produce auction, and they say, well, the big buyers actually have their own farms now, so I don't know if the produce auction's dying a slow death. Steve Lee did put me in touch with some food banks, and I did do a little bit of business with the Commodity Food Bank of New Jersey. They bought 6 pallets of eggplant over a period of 3 weeks. And those of you that are in the produce business, although that helps, and I'm grateful that they purchased it, I just can't seem to find a steady buyer for my excess produce. And I want to make you guys aware that, small farmer, like I said, 30 acres of produce, having a difficult time. A lot of it's getting wasted. And I hear about food deserts, things like that. When I make these calls to the food banks, they're very nice people, but they're struggling. I guess we're missing the connection. Right now, I'm sitting on plum tomatoes and regular tomatoes and having a difficult time. Plum tomatoes, I'm watching them rot on the vine. So I appreciate your time, appreciate you listening. Just wanted to bring that to your attention. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. All right. Has anybody wished to speak that has not been given the opportunity to speak?
Hi, Joe. It's Janine. I came in late because I was just in another meeting with South Jersey farmers with a presentation about food hubs. And I think that's relevant to this conversation in the budget and the budget. So but if it's already been brought up because I'm late, I don't want to be redundant.
No, go ahead.
Please go ahead.
So this presentation, but like representative of just the larger topic of like regional infrastructure, like regional aggregation, distribution infrastructure, and the fact that it needs to be subsidized if the buyers are going to be lower resourced areas, because obviously like they're not able to pay for the, like, you know, these are the areas where most people are getting things from food pantries and food banks or other subsidized ways of getting food. The only way to really make the connection between the farmers getting paid the price they need for their products and the consumers getting access to more healthy food is to have food hubs or some kind of cooperatives, aggregation, distribution that has some kind of government or corporate support. And so without obviously giving an overview of the entire presentation I just came from, I just think it's something to think about. If this is a need in the supply chain, is there a role for state funding or public-private partnership in scaling the ones that already exist? So the presentation that I just heard was from the Urban Agriculture Cooperative, and even though they're based in Newark, they source from farmers all over the state. So scaling and expanding existing organizations like this or helping new ones start. The purpose of the meeting I was in was so that Urban Agriculture Cooperative can inform and teach this group of farmers in South Jersey who are thinking about starting their own, like kind of modeled after them. And so just really a question rather of like something like to think about, or what's the role of public-private partnerships in helping expand existing or create new entities like that can help with a little bit of what Bill was just talking about.
Anything else, Janine?
The only other thing I was going to bring up in terms of next year's budget was the need for, there's a bill with an appropriation that passed in Vermont that it looked really interesting to me, around like state funding to help farmers with severe weather related disaster assistance, but also like planning, like resiliency planning around like how do we make your farms a little bit more resilient to more extreme weather, wind, heavy rain. I mean, I know there's federal programs for that, but I think there's a lot more flexibility and customization that we can do if we had a state-run program.
All right. Thanks, Janine. Next up, I see Darcy from Hunterdon County. I'm not sure which hat she's wearing tonight, but I'll let her introduce herself and tell us where she's from.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
So we're up here in Hunterdon County and we're actually having a watch party. So we have like 10 people in a room watching you guys. This is pretty exciting. I just wanted to thank Ross for hopping on this meeting. I think that's awesome that Wakefern would jump on and listen to our concerns and bring some ideas to the table. I love the idea on behalf of the vegetable growers. That'll be the hat that I wear tonight about the Jersey Fresh ads in the weekly circular. I know Ed talked about that as well. So I appreciate that being brought up. And I just want to comment on Kurt saying about the Department of Labor inspections should be the NJDA inspections instead. That's a great idea too. And I pretty much back everything that Kurt said. not all of it, but most of it. So, but no, I appreciate you guys speaking up on that, and it saved me, say, I got all mine done in less than 2 minutes. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you. And anybody else here have anything to say? Okay, so the rest of the group will remain quiet.
A minute and a half. Perfect.
And she's kind of repping 10 people in a room, so that's really good.
And I'd like the chat to show that Janine Cava also added, oh, of course, can't forget, and I'm sure it's been said, more funding for Jersey Fresh. So let that be in the recording there as well from the chat. Thanks, Janine.
I don't know if that thumbs up is she wants to say anything else or just saying she agrees.
No,
with-
no. Thanks for mentioning it. That's all.
All right. Well, if we have nobody else, Joe, I guess I will close this up for everybody tonight.
Before you close it up, Joel, so we'll take this input. We've got reports that are due to the Office of Management and Budget on our priorities, and we will make requests based upon the information we heard. Changing responsibilities between agencies is a heavier lift than just a strict budget request, but it can start with the budget. And reinforcing our dairy enforcement are things we can start and do that way. I think transferring from the Division of Labor is a tougher question, but also those are conversations we can start as we're going to go through an administration change this fall. No matter which party wins, there is going to be a new governor, and there will be new governor priorities that we as an agency will try to reach. But this is where it starts. We've heard from you. We will be getting our budget requests in, and then the conversations go from here. And then there will be the process going through. Our email for, I'm going to ask the real Tamika Webster to stand up with the email that people can, or enter it into the chat that people can send written comments to. We'd really like them by Friday because the conversation period has, the budget process has kind of started already. So we appreciate everybody coming on and giving us feedback and ideas and input.
Tamika, if you want to put that in the chat, that would be great. I just wanted to take a quick minute here. I saw Assemblyman Bill Spearman turn his camera on, and I just wanted to take a minute to say thanks to him for being on this tonight. And if he had a few words he just wanted to say to everybody, I give you the floor for a few minutes.
Thanks, I appreciate that. I didn't turn on my camera because I wanted to talk. I just turned on my camera because I thought we were just about done. I'm listening, I'm learning, and I will take the guidance of Joel and Ed moving forward, and we'll try to see if we can address the issues that have been brought forward this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's greatly appreciated. So.
Joel, I can just note that Callie Alexander has raised her hand while the Assemblyman was speaking.
Yeah.
So,
we can give her 5 minutes. That's fine.
Yeah, no.
hold on, let me set this timer, Callie.
Oh, no, there is no timer in my life, Joe. And thank you for every courtesy. Again, just a courtesy question. Ed, Joe, the department, the Board of Agriculture, thank you. Again, as we get past the New Year's, February, can we hold another session, Ed? We're going to do this again? Future budget hearing? Tell me. As we get closer to budget time. Thank you.
I don't know if we will be doing that because eventually the administration is told to step away and let the public speak to the legislature on the budget process. So that would be some of the next feedback steps. And you've heard the chairman here. He's all ears and ready to be engaged. We will have a delayed start to the budget process. Usually when a new governor comes in, they're given an additional month to help form their budget after getting elected. They do them at the end of January or early February, and then this one will come later in February.
Exactly.
So, but it really is, it will be engaging the new administration, from your perspectives as constituents and, working with your local legislators on the priorities. We're going to try and reflect them in our budget requests. It should show up in the budget document that we made those requests. And so those are things, we want everybody to be on the lookout for and to participate in the process as much as they can.
Thank you, Ed. I just would appreciate as we get closer to the ever important February that we can all, see your future planning, support your future planning, and also offer supportive contributions. Thank you.
And that's what the Ag Convention in January will be for. So join us with the vegetable growers down at the State Ag Convention with their events. And yeah, we're bringing all the heads together. So.
And also, before I close up, I just will remind everybody, I mean, we do have monthly board meetings that anytime there's public comment, I believe there's 2 of them, always can come and let us know what you're thinking. It doesn't just have to be on an event like this. So.
Mr. Chairman, I don't see any other hands raised for comments, so I turn it back to you for closing remarks.
All right. Well, in closing, everybody, tonight, just on behalf of the New Jersey Department of Agriculture and the New Jersey State Board of Agriculture, I want to sincerely thank each of you for joining us this evening and for sharing your thoughts and perspectives during this budget listening session. Your comments, questions, and commitment remind us why this work is so important. Together, we will continue to strengthen New Jersey agriculture by supporting our farmers and promoting all that makes our state unique. From Jersey fresh fruits and vegetables to Jersey raised livestock to locally grown plants, trees, shrubs, and flowers that enrich our communities. Thank you again for your time and dedication, and we look forward to working alongside you in the months ahead. Good night.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.